This is Gene Montrastelli. Welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 521, originally aired November 24th, 2021. Hi everyone, I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of day you're getting a chance to listen to this. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. Today we're going to spend a little time talking about not what you say, but how you say it when you're tapping and how that makes a huge difference in the outcome that you receive. Before we do that, two quick announcements. Number one is I want to remind you that we have a free 10-part guide where you can use tapping to eliminate self-sabotage. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com, click on the big blue button, enter your email address, and for the next 10 days, every single day, we'll send you a little bite-sized nugget of information that you can use to do some tapping, to clear some space, to take some action. Then at the end of 10 days, you can pick the one or two tools that work the best for you and use them over and over again. Secondly, I want to shoot a big shout out to everyone who is a supporter of the Tapping Q&A podcast. This is a community of people who decide to support the podcast absolutely voluntarily because you get the podcast absolutely free. Because they are supporting the podcast, they make sure that you get it at the high quality that it is, and all of the supporters receive bonuses, ones that are announced and ones that are unannounced, where I just like to drop something for them because of their amazing willingness to support us. If you'd like to support the podcast, receive bonus gifts that are unannounced, all you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/support. A number of weeks ago, I was having a conversation with one of my clients, and she was asking me the question about the health protocol that I've put together. A number of years ago, when I was dealing with a cold, I kind of sat down and thought, well, what are all of the things that I know how to do to tap to make myself feel healthier? And she had mentioned the fact that it's a 2-page script that she was tapping through every single day. And at a certain point, it started to feel very rote, very redundant, like she was going through the motions. And that's a really easy thing to do, and it's a really easy thing to have happen. A number of years ago, I was in Northern Ireland, and I had to take a bus from Northern Ireland to Belfast to catch a train, to catch a plane, to fly home. And the road that we were on hugged the coast. So as we were driving down the northeast coast of Northern Ireland, to the right were these amazing green hills dotted with little white fuzzy sheep and these beautiful brick walls. Northern Ireland looking like Northern Ireland. To the left was the ocean and crashing waves, and it was really magnificent. And for about 3 hours, as we drove down this road, every town we went into, we stopped, and the bus driver opened the door. No one got on, no one got off. The bus driver closed the door. So basically, for 3 hours, it was me and the bus driver navigating our way down the Northern Irish coast. And at a certain point, as we were going around a bend, there was a little inlet. And so there's waves crashing on this inlet and this beautiful green countryside. And I'm sitting directly behind the driver and I go, whoa, just because it was so beautiful. It caused me to say something out loud. And then the driver in front of me kind of snapped to attention. And he said, I drive this every single day. And even though I know it's beautiful, it's really easy to get caught in the rut and miss the beauty of what is going on in front of us. And that's just human nature. When we do things over and over and over again, they become routine. I was in the Alhambra, which is the last Moorish stronghold, this beautiful castle that is in Granada, Spain, with two other friends I was studying Spanish with. And my German friend turned to me and she said, I don't think I would want to live here. I would be afraid that this would become ordinary because I would see it every single day. And so because that is part of the human nature, that is what we do, we turn things into routine so we don't have to think about them. They save time, they save energy. That's the reason why all of our habits are created. It's easy to take a tapping script and have it turn into something, be less powerful than it was once before. So there are 3 things that we can do to re-engage us with a tapping script. The first is, if you are working with a tapping script or a tapping procedure that you have done over and over again, the first thing we can do is we can start doing the pieces in different orders. So instead of, if you have a script where there's a number of pieces, instead of tapping first line, second line, third line, you might try doing it in the opposite order or breaking it into 3 chunks and do chunk number 3 first and then chunk number 1 and then chunk number 2. Because by intentionally disrupting the order, you're intentionally disrupting the habit, which makes us be more present to it. So we're moving it from our subconscious mind to our conscious mind. So by changing the order of something that you normally tap on will make a difference. And oftentimes we notice different things because of the order that we're going through. So not only do we re-engage with the content, but it gives us an opportunity to enjoy it and get something from it in a new way. The second thing that I find that helps me to break the monotony or the routine of doing something over and over again is changing the way that I move when I do it. So I give myself permission to do some tapping while I'm walking, to do some tapping where I change positions at different points in the tapping routine. When I'm saying a phrase, if I'm tapping with my right hand, if it's something that it's angry about, I shake my fist. If it's something I'm excited about, I give some sort of gesture that lets me know that I'm excited. But I'm adding some physicality to the emotion to make it be something that I engage with in a deeper way. The third thing that we can do, and actually I think this is the one that is the most effective, is to make sure you are not just saying the words, even though I am tapping on the side of my hand I love and accept myself, but giving yourself permission to overemphasize the emotion that we're feeling. Even though right now I'm really angry, I recognize the fact I'm not always stuck in this particular place. I give myself permission to be a giant grumpopotamus today. And so what I'm doing is I almost imagine that I'm an actor in a children's television program who overact and overemphasize everything because oftentimes people in children's television think kids are dumb and think they need to over-communicate. So it might not work well in communicating with kids, and it might. But more importantly, when we create that dramatic stuff, it makes it easier for us to engage. Every single time I refill my glass of water, I state my whys for my life and my business out loud. And so it's not, the reason I'm sitting at my desk today is because if I help people to take more consistent action, they'll create the lives that they want. Instead, it's the reason I'm sitting at my desk today is I want the people I serve to eliminate self-sabotage and consistently take authentic action, because when they do that, they create these really amazing lives. Even though they're not perfect, they more consistently take action. They make their life better. They make the world better, which makes my life better. And you can see in the tone, or I guess more accurately, hear in the tone, the difference between those two. And when I do the second one, I feel the emotion behind my eyes as I think about the people I get the opportunity to serve. So, if you are in a situation where you're feeling like your tapping is becoming a little bit rote, 3 simple things that you can do. Change the order in which you are tapping, as in the phrases you are saying and the things you're thinking about. 2, add some demonstrative movement to it. And number 3, add emotion to the things that you're saying. Almost play act it like you're trying to convey it to someone else. And even as I do that play act, I can feel the energy and I'm more engaged in what I am sharing. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that. You can always reach out to me at support@tappingqna.com. Even though it's a support email, I'm the one who mans those. So I will be the one who's replying to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what works for you. Let me know your questions. Let me know the things you try to get re-engaged when tapping feels a little bit monotonous. If you haven't done so already, we'd really encourage you to subscribe to the Tapping Q&A podcast. In podcasting parlance, subscribe is always free. You can go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Basic, everywhere you find audio online. Just search for Tapping Q&A. Click subscribe, click follow, turn on the notifications so when a new episode comes out, you're notified right away. If you know someone in your life who'd appreciate this little conversation today, that they've been frustrated with their tapping progress, please be our ambassador, pass it along. Don't spam your inbox, but you might know 1 or 2 people who would really appreciate something like this. For the Tapping Q&A podcast, this is Gene Montrestelli. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. The Tapping Q&A podcast is copyright Gene Montrestelli Tapping Q&A. All views expressed by guests are those of the guests and not necessarily of Gene Montrestelli and Tapping Q&A.